Hello, hello, everybody. We are live. We just had to wait for AEW to get over with. I am Princess Skywalker, aka Jessie B, and this is the Lowdown with Princess Skywalker. I've got my co host tonight, the Prince. So it's the Prince and Princess taking over again. Welcome back. Welcome back.
So glad to be back, Princess. Thank you.
Of course, you are actually going to be one of my reoccurring co-hosts every first, second Tuesday of the month. I think is what we've got it planned out as.
You're right. I'm honored. I can't wait. I look forward to this
So
all the time.
perfect, perfection. It's a good time. It's definitely a good time. Did you catch AEW tonight?
I saw a little bit of it actually. Like, does it typically run this late? I mean, Raw and SmackDown, I mean, they're like done by now. But like, I saw that Dax and then we're going on
Mm-mm.
good match. But I was like, man, it's still going. I'm like, man, okay, I'm down for some extra action. I'm never gonna complain.
Yeah,
But I was kind
it
of
was
surprised.
a pretty action-packed episode.
I know they
I've
got
got like
double.
3 pages worth of notes.
They
Hmm.
got double. I think coming up on the 26th, right?
Yep, on the 26th, and I just realized I'm gonna be at my dad's. So I'm gonna need to watch it on my phone, I guess, because I'm gonna be at my dad's house.
Oh, okay.
I'm driving down to Oklahoma next Friday to see my
Oh,
dad with my brother and my niece and nephew.
nice. Travel safely.
So thank you. Well, we're back after 2 weeks off. I took a week off due to mental health issues and just being stressed out, and then I took a week off for the worst vacation ever. Um, so now we're back at it for episode 6. Oh yeah, trip to Vegas, worst trip ever. I don't ever want to go back to Vegas again. It was awful. Our flight was delayed. They charged us way more than anticipated for the hotel room deposit. Don't stay at the Bellagio. Their security deposit is $150 a night.
Wow.
So they took a $300 security deposit. It was insane. My husband lost
Jeez.
his military ID. I almost left my wedding rings in the room after we checked out. So I had to get security to go back up and get my rings out of the room because they were sitting on the bathroom counter because I took them off to put lotion on. Our flight home was delayed. We ended up having to sit in the airplane for like 3 hours because we couldn't move. It was worst trip ever. I if our trip in October goes like this, I am not going to be a happy camper.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's awful. Positive vibes, Jess. We're just gonna put that positive energy in there that when October comes, it's gonna be smooth. It's gonna be way better um, than this last trip. Too, yeah, man, Vegas having a bad trip. That's not how it's supposed to go in Vegas. But
Oh, yeah, it was just not fun. It was just not fun at all. Um so I didn't sleep at all last night. So I am really tired. So my brain isn't cooperating correctly with me, so you'll just have to bear with me tonight.
hey, you got your assist man here.
Um and that's good cuz I don't remember anything that happened on Raw on Monday night. So
So
um
they're continuing the obviously the King and Queen of the Ring tournaments. One thing I liked about them doing this is it's really focused in on all the talent that's involved in the tournament. So they're bringing some newcomers, like when they had the draft, which was so, but some of those up and
yeah.
coming, the talent coming over from NXT, they're really getting a chance to shine and show what they're doing. So if you're your average casual wrestling fan and you don't watch NXT and you're like, who's Carmelo Hayes? Who's Tiffany Stratton? And so they've done a great job on showcasing those newer talents that got or Lyra got Valkyria and those individuals. They're doing a good job on showcasing the new people and then having some heavy hitters involved as well, like Gunther and people like that. But what's been weird, Jess, is the injury bug has bit WWE like hard. I mean, guys are injured left and right. Guys and gals have been in,
Mhm.
they've been having to replace them. Like reigning Queen of the Ring. What's her name?
Zelina. Yeah, she
Yeah,
got hurt.
she got hurt. Obviously, Drew McIntyre's got that elbow, so he wasn't able to compete. Bobby Lashley got pulled because he's injured. So the injuries have been kind of weird. But the talent that's replaced these guys, these matches have been fire, and it's been really good to see some of the new up and coming talent with some of the veteran hard hitters like Randy Orton was in it, stuff like that. So it's good to see a mixture of those guys to kind of get the intrigue back of King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring. So it's really cool. I like it.
It's been a while since they've done it, hasn't it?
Yeah, it was been like so Zelina was the first ever Queen of the Ring, and then you got to go back a couple years for Xavier Woods, who also got hurt, who was the last King of the Ring. So it's been was it him or then King Corbin had a little reign there. So it's been a bit. They've had a hiatus, but it's never been what it was back when you and I first watched them. Like when Austin,
It was a
won the
big thing.
those guys like that King of the Ring was like a whole spectacle. So they're trying to get back to that, but it's a good start.
Yeah, my mom came over for dinner on Monday, so I didn't get to watch a lot of it because my mom was here. Um, I did see the main event though. It was Jey Uso and Dragunov. Is that his name?
Yep, Ilya Dragunov. Yep, another
And Jey
NXT.
Uso went over. And Jey Uso went over him, which I'm not surprised that happened whatsoever. Um, just because of the hype train that he's on right now, he could very well take King of the Ring at this point.
Yeah. And then I don't know if you saw, but Gunther, because they're going to face each other the next round. I mean, now that's a rematch of back when they wrestled each other for the Intercontinental Championship, a number of months ago. So that's going to be intriguing. I don't know who's going to win that one. I'm really going to be looking forward to that match because Gunther can really go one of two ways after losing the Intercontinental title. He could be like, hey, I'm winning King of the Ring. Now I can kind of pick and choose what I want to do. Or if he loses, where he sets his sights from there could be interesting. But he's definitely going to have a world title shot at some point. I mean, he's been that prominent, that good. So I'd be shocked if he doesn't eventually get in that picture. But that matchup's going to be really interesting. I'm curious on when and how the Bloodline gets back involved because they visited Jey Uso last week, just in a small, quick appearance. They didn't get involved or do anything like that, but he had a run-in with Solo Sikoa, the new leader of the Bloodline, since Paul Heyman hasn't talked to Roman Reigns since he lost the title. And now Solo's like, well, I've talked to him, and the tribal chief says I should take over. And then here comes another family member, and then all of a sudden here comes another one that debuted a couple weeks, like a week or so ago. So all these new members of the Bloodline are coming back, or are getting into the fold. And Jimmy's obviously injured. We haven't heard from Roman, but we know he's filming. So, man, Paul Heyman's like, what the hell is going on? Chaos. But I'm waiting to see when those guys get involved on Raw in Jey Uso's business and maybe eventually set up a Civil War type thing at Survivor Series, which is kind of speculation. But they just didn't show up just to look at him and then walk off and go back to SmackDown. There's going to be some sort of intermingling at some point. I'm just wondering if they're going to wait till actual King of the Ring and maybe screw him over there, or that's just an interesting dynamic to keep your eyes on.
Yeah, that's a good thought. It is interesting to see how that dynamic is coming together and how it's kind of changing things by having Solo Sikoa in charge because he's crazy. So, but these Tama Tonga apparently is really good. I've never seen him outside of the last couple of weeks, but from what I hear, he's actually really good.
Yeah, he's a savage, sure. I mean, this guy is just like unleashed. You're like, you just can't put a leash on this guy. I mean, he's something to keep your eyes on. Like, there's no control over those guys. Paul Heyman doesn't even know what to do. Well, he's still thinking he's supposed to be taking orders from the tribal chief, which where is our tribal chief? So guys just running. It's really an interesting storyline to see how that unfolds over there. So It's
Yeah, and they're completely changing the dynamic.
yeah, 100%. So it's crazy. And then you got, the interesting dynamic with Damian Priest and Judgment Day. Rhea Ripley's gone. Now Damian Priest is kind of taking the reins over things, but I don't know. There's been a few rifts in Judgment Day. Dirty Dom is bringing in Carlito after he stabbed LWO in the back and got exposed by Legado del Fantasma. So now he's trying to say, hey, you guys don't like Rey Mysterio. I don't like him. Maybe we can scratch each other's backs. And Damian Priest is like, dude, I don't know. And Finn Balor and JD McDonough keep losing matches. Braun Strowman came back a couple weeks ago, so they got beef. He kind of got involved. So we'll see what's going on there. And then Liv Morgan's the wild card. Like footage of her kind of like talking to Dom over here and stuff like that. So that's going to be interesting to see where that goes. She's pretty much heel now, beefing with Becky Lynch and some of those people. So it's interesting. There's a lot going on over there. So that's something to keep your eyes on. Like, sounds like Damian Priest is turning more of a face. He had a good promo with.
That's what I've noticed.
Yeah, he had a great promo to kick off Raw with Drew McIntyre, like kind of making fun of him and stuff, because Drew McIntyre was again coming out blaming mishaps, and Damian Priest is like, "Hey, bro, like you call me a paper champion, and you're making fun of me and saying whatever, but like last time I checked, you were the one who cost me a couple money in the bank cash in chances. So you decided to poke CM Punk, you got what you deserved, and I cashed on you. So that's all on you." So those two are probably going to have a run at some point, but
I gotta say though, I hate fucking Phil, #fucking Phil, but his Instagram when he was stuck in the WWE headquarters was actually pretty fucking funny.
That was funny. I did see that.
It was actually pretty funny, but I still hate him, #fucking Phil.
It's okay. You can give him like 15 seconds of like positive and then go back to like, it's fine. He can do one.
As long as we throw in. Yeah. As long as we throw in #fucking Phil, it's all good.
Good Phil.
Yeah.
But you got to fill me more in on AEW. I've watched a couple clips of some things, and so one of the questions I have is Jericho's like got an alliance with.
Oh, sweet Jesus!
Like what's going on? What's Jericho's just holding on, isn't he?
So he needs to go the fuck away. He's got some serious go home heat. Like these crowds have been tearing his ass apart. Like tonight they were shouting at him, "Please retire." So they are not liking it. He's all of a sudden now the learning tree, Chris Jericho. And he's coming out being overly obnoxious towards people and just being like coming out like a beauty queen, like, "Hey everybody, how are you tonight?" Like overly fucking obnoxious. And he's with Big Bill.
Yeah.
Now, and they're going up against Hook and Shibata, is what it looks like it's gonna be. It's gonna be Hook and Shibata because he's got a thing. He took Hook's title. His FTW title. So Jericho's just holding on with dear life to every strand of possible wrestling he can get.
Is Jericho really become that unbearable now? Or I know that physically in the ring, he's not the Jericho of old, Y2J and Save Me of WWE, but like, I mean, I see footage of him and I'm like, yeah, it looks like Jericho's kind of, but is he just, are people just, I mean, he's just really falling off that bad? Like his Father Time caught up to him like right now. That's like, dude, it's over. Like you need to hang it up.
I think people are just over him. He's like on every single week. He's one person that's featured every single week. He never seems to lose. He doesn't like seem to put anybody over. Like he does, but he doesn't lose to them. So I don't know. As you know, I've never been a fan of Chris Jericho. So, as Tyler used to call him when he was little, the booger.
Yeah, Jericho's always been obnoxious, maybe self-centered, selfish. That's how I've always, even back in WCW, I was like, when he was doing his list of 1,000 holes, mocking Dean Malenko, I'm like, this is
Hmm.
just, I mean, he's just always been like that. But I've heard about all these chants and seen footage. I'm like, man, like, is really Jericho getting that kind of heat? I'm like, man, I didn't realize it was that bad.
Oh yeah, he's getting some serious heat. No one wants him around. Not the crowds definitely don't. And he was getting torn apart in Canada of all places. So
Wow,
for him to
that's
get torn apart in Canada says a lot.
yeah, that says a hell of a lot. If you're getting, they're giving you heat in Canada, yeah, geez,
Yeah, if you're in your home country and they're still going go home, nobody wants anything to do with you anymore, bro.
yeah, that's a sign. Read the room, bro. Read the room.
Read the room, bro. Read the room. You got to go.
Well, speaking of Canada,
The
how's
the next thing that's
Copeland doing?
Copeland tonight actually they had a pretty he came out, and as soon as he came out he was attacked by House of Black,
Oh,
which is Buddy Matthews, Brody King, and Malachi Black. um, and they brought him out to the ring and they took his wedding ring
what?
and they choked him out and took his wedding ring off. And then later Malachi did a promo accepting his challenge at Double or Nothing for the TNT Championship, but if Copeland loses, he has to bend the knee to the House of Black.
Mm.
So they've been kind of teasing him going dark over the last couple of weeks. Like I saw on Collision on Saturday night that he had blood coming out of his mouth for like no reason. So like dark things were starting to happen. It happened in his promo too. So they're like setting him up to go dark. So I don't know if he's getting ready to join the House of Black or what's going on with that. I mean, he would fit in with House of Black considering the Brood background.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I think my kids are back. The dogs are freaking out, as you can
We
hear.
all this blood stuff. I'm like, yeah, it's taking give me Brood vibes for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And he would fit into the whole goth scene of the House of Black. So that works. Um, One of the other things is the fallout from the Young Bucks and Jack Perry attacking Tony Khan.
Mm.
And Tony Khan hasn't been around, so the Young Bucks have taken over. So they've got Anarchy in the Arena coming up at Double or Nothing, and it was supposed to be Eddie Kingston, but he got hurt over the weekend in a New Japan Pro Wrestling match, so he got pulled from the match. So were going to announce who it was going to be, and come at the end of Dynamite, Darby Allin came back. So Darby Allin's going to be the fourth person on Anarchy in the Arena. So it's going to be FTR. I just totally blanked out. FTR, Bryan Danielson, and Darby Allin versus the Elite in
Okay.
Anarchy in the Arena. So
That's
that's going to be a good one. Jack Perry is doing really good as a heel. I mean, he's doing really good. He dumped a drink on Shivani's head tonight, so that was pretty funny.
nice. Good old
So that
Shivani.
was pretty funny. Yeah, good old Tony Schiavone. The poor abused Tony Schiavone.
He's encountered a lot
um,
over the.
he has. They're trying to build up for the Tony Storm Serena Deeb match at Double or Nothing. Tony Storm has just been phenomenal ever since she changed to Timeless Tony Storm. This Timeless Tony Storm character has just been absolutely perfect. It's hilarious. The one-liners that she comes off with tonight, or like tonight, she said something about she's gonna end up like everybody else in the Vegas, on their back, ass in their face, wondering where their dignity went. So that was pretty hilarious. When she was cutting the promo towards Serena Deeb. But what I've noticed is they did not do a very good job of promoting Serena Deeb in this match because nobody gives a shit about Serena Deeb. Like, she comes out and it's absolute crickets. She was
Wow.
cutting a promo last weekend or last week on Dynamite when they were in Edmonton, and the crowd started chanting for the Edmonton Oilers in the middle of her promo.
Ooh.
So,
Ooh,
like, the crowd just does, they're not into Serena Deeb. They just don't care. Like, she came out tonight to watch Toni Storm's match, and the crowd couldn't have cared less. And it was just interesting that they haven't built her up very well in this, whatever. I can't speak tonight. I literally did not sleep last night. Like, zero sleep. I was up all night and then I worked all day today. So I'm like been awake since. Yeah. I can't freaking function right now. My brain's not working.
You're good. So it doesn't sound like it's her fault. It's like they just haven't booked her properly. It's all been like Toni, and everyone's
They
like, you don't
didn't
even.
book her properly. Mm-hmm. And
The last.
Toni's just been so on fire and so amazing that it's really hard to top Toni.
That's true. That's true. But that's the last thing you want is crickets. You want to get something from the crowd. If they're heavily booing you like they do Dirty Dom, or they're cheering or
Mm-hmm.
saying your catchphrases or singing your song like Seth Rollins, you want them to be doing something. And you want them to be doing something that's relevant to
Mm-hmm.
cheering for the Edmonton Oilers. I mean, man, that hurts. When you go back in the locker room and you after that, I don't know how
Right.
you,
That,
yeah. How do you give your all to this scenario
and
after
this
you
is
just
in the
like,
middle. Yeah, and this is in the middle of a woman talking about how she just survived having a bunch of seizures and she was fighting for her life and all kinds of stuff, and the crowd starts chanting for the Edmonton Oilers. It was it was really disrespectful. Like, it was super disrespectful to Serena Deeb. Like, she's a decent wrestler. Um do I think she really fits in the scheme of the AEW women's locker room? No, not really. But she's amazing in the ring. She can put on a great match. So it's going to be a good match between her and Toni Storm.
so it sounds like the crowd already has made their choice, obviously.
Oh, Toni Storm's just freaking magic. She's just magic. This character has just been so good for her and just so absolutely perfect. It can't get much better than what she's got going on right now.
Good for Toni. I'm glad. I don't think WWE knew what to do with her when she was over here, and so for her to actually branch out, embrace this character, and like I said,
Mm-hmm.
struck magic, and now she's able to like encapsulate herself in this character, and it's really resonating. That's what you want. So she's caught fire. I hope she continues it. Speaking of fire, I know you were
Yeah,
telling me
me
about Jerry.
too.
People are I'm hearing a lot of negative rumblings about Mercedes because all these promos and no action. So, I mean, if
I
I'm
was
Mercedes,
just about to bring that up.
well, like I haven't wrestled forever. Like I show up and it's kind of like, oh man, Mercedes is here, but like, how many promos can I do without slapping someone or getting the ring? Like it's just, it's almost like fakes. It's you're pump faking the crowd and the fans. It's like she got to have some sort of match, something
Mm-hmm.
like showing up one week and having a promo in the back, or coming out and talking and doing your CEO stuff and then leaving. It's like, dude, like we're tired of this. Like get in there, slap someone, tumble, pin
Mm-hmm.
someone. Like we need some action. So when's she actually gonna do
And the
something?
crowd showed that tonight. The crowd showed that tonight because when they were doing the contract signing, she was getting booed. And you could see that the CEO chants were only coming from her entrance music, They weren't coming from the crowd because the crowd was not into the CEO thing. You could definitely tell that the crowd was more on Willow Nightingale's side. And
Mm-hmm.
Willow Nightingale put her ass through a table tonight.
Yeah.
She put Mercedes through a table.
Nice.
So, Mercedes is definitely going to be turning heel, which she's kind of better at, I guess. She's just annoying. She's annoying.
Yeah.
She's annoying on the mic. She can't cut a damn promo to save her life. She just has never been the it girl, which is why I never got the big hype that they're bringing behind her, because she ain't there for me. It's just not there. She's fucking annoying, and her voice is like fingernails on a chalkboard.
Yeah, I remember you saying that about when she was Sasha. You're all like, yo, like your girl. Well, she never really was good on the mic. She definitely could work on that. I'm surprised she still hasn't gotten better with that, because that definitely needed work, even back in WWE. But I think it was a major signing. I mean, Tony Khan's all about major signings, especially if they come from WWE, and she was a big name. So landing her was like, oh man, this is huge. But with that being said, like you got to utilize them right, man. I mean, all this talking, people are like, hey, we're tired of that. Like you talked back then and you weren't really good at it. So we need to see you in the ring doing stuff. Like you've been kind of on a break forever. So I understand wanting to book her the right way and set up for a good match.
Mm-hmm.
All that talking, people get tired of that, man. And you got to actually get in the ring and do some stuff. So all that hype, it dies out. You can only ride that wave for so long. But like, okay, it's just another promo. Who cares? When is she going to be in the ring? When is she going to have an actual match to see if her moves have changed, what she can do? Like, that's what we care about. The CEO talking, that's done. So get in the ring and fucking wrestle already.
Exactly. Just get to it. Do your fucking job. Stop running your mouth and just get to it. Prove that you are the greatest of all time that you say you are, which she's not by a long shot.
I can't put her in the top.
Toni Storm is better in the ring. No, Toni Storm's better than Mercedes Moné. 100%. Willow Nightingale is better than Mercedes Moné. Like Bianca Belair, so much better. So much better. Bianca Belair is fucking amazing. Tiffany Stratton, she's great. She's not the greatest on the mic, but she's great. Her mic work needs a little bit of work, but I couldn't cut a fucking promo to save my life. So who the hell am I to sit here and fucking tell somebody else how to cut a promo? Because there's no fucking way I'd be able to do it. So why the hell would I be doing that to someone else? But
the Paul Levesque
gotta be likable.
The Paul Levesque era is here, Jess. So they might like, you let a couple of F-bombs, say whatever, like you're fine. I mean, Rock can do it. So go ahead. You would make a good promo if we're like in this new Paul Levesque era. Now the PG era, like it'd be hard for anyone, but I think you probably could have good one. Get like Charlotte Flair in front of you.
Yeah.
And you have a promo on her, like you can probably undress her with a promo, I'm sure, and get the crowd to be like, ooh, this Princess Skywalker, yo, you see what she said to the Queen? Like, yo, we like her. And then you get them to start chanting
my favorite.
You start having them chant something every time Charlotte Flair comes out to ring. Like you could come up with something. Give yourself some credit now. You can do better than.
Yeah, I wish I would have.
You can cough up a promo better than Mercedes now. Come on.
I probably definitely could do that. Sorry, I was distracted. There's a fire truck and an ambulance.
Uh-oh.
Outside. Wonder what had happened was. It's like the next building over or something like that. I'm being the nosy neighbor. Like, ooh, what's going on? But fuck, that reminds me. A couple weeks ago, digressing, totally going off left field here, but a couple weeks ago, there was some guy that shot his girlfriend in the complex in one of the buildings in the back, like 2 months ago. And there was like a police standoff and all kinds of crazy stuff. My ass slept through the whole thing.
What? You slept through this whole thing?
Yeah, I slept through the whole thing. My coworker, who happens to live in the same complex as me, told me about it the next morning. I
You're all
slept
like,
through it
wait,
all. Didn't hear the cops. Didn't hear. There was like SWAT. There was like all kinds of shit. I fucking slept through it all.
you're going to work like, hey, how was your night? Oh my God, I didn't get any sleep. Like there was cops. Like, wait, what? Cops? What happened? Like, wait, you're like
I'm
5
like,
minutes away.
yeah, what?
Yeah, like what happened?
Not
What?
even. I'm like 4 buildings away.
Like, what happened? Oh well, hey, you're putting in work,
Aurora.
Prince. You're it's all good. You're putting in work. You're tired. It's all good.
I am tired. I need to stop staying up so late. But I did go to the casino last night with $20 and $45 in free play and came home with $100. Or no, $500.
$500.
Yes. I was getting ready to leave, put my last $20 in a slot machine, hit a $200 right off the bat, and then another 260 cashed out and went home. Mind you, that was at 3 o'clock in the morning, but you know,
Hey, you came home a winner. That's what matters. All I
I
do is
did. I did. No matter what.
you go.
What else happened today on so one thing that happened on Dynamite tonight was Harley Cameron. Are you familiar with Harley Cameron? She is with Paige. She had a match against Tony Storm tonight, and I was so impressed with Harley Cameron. Like, I did not realize she could wrestle so well. She was going toe to toe with Tony Storm and keeping up with her, and it was a great match. And I was super surprised because I thought she was just a mouthpiece. I didn't know she could actually wrestle.
Well, sometimes it's easy to get lost when you got Paige right there, but I'm glad. That's good.
Hmm.
Well, give Tony Storm credit too for maybe having that chemistry and them be able to work together. You got to give her credit too for sure. So,
Yeah, it was a really good match, and I was really surprised.
do you see promise in her? Do you see like,
Do I
hey,
see
okay,
what?
like she could actually do some things. Like this could be
Hmm.
someone
For
be
sure.
like a future player in the women's division.
Yeah, she's got some talent. A lot more talent than I thought. Um, I was pleasantly surprised with her match with Tony Storm. I thought it was going to be real one-sided, real Tony Storm kind of carrying the match, but Harley Cameron really put herself over in that match, and she really did a great job. So that was
I
a
like
really
that.
good match to watch tonight.
There you go.
Hold on, children. Okay. I don't know why my son has to text me when he puts gas in the car. I'm like, okay, you're using it. Put the gas in it.
Be responsible. Hey, I'm putting gas in the car. Like, all right, that's good. Better to bring
Thank
it back.
you.
Yeah, thank you. But yeah, you're using it, put gas in it. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, Will Ospreay cut a great promo against Roderick Strong. Roderick Strong is so unbelievably annoying. Like, I cannot stand anything about him. Like, and I know that's supposed to be it, and he's supposed to be not liked. Sorry, there's another fire truck. But he's supposed to be not liked, but goddamn, do I really not fucking like him. Like, he is so annoying. Like, dude, just fucking shut up and go away already. Like, I can't handle you.
He was like that toward the tail end of NXT. He was mentoring the Creed brothers. I mean, everyone from Undisputed Era was gone, so he was the last one left. And so I think there was a little bit of bitterness there, but he was god awful and annoying back then. I'm like, all right, Roderick, you just leave already. Join AEW, join your buddies, and just wash away. But he was super annoying then. So I hear you. I never was a huge fan of Roderick Strong. It was always Adam
Hmm.
Cole.
Yeah.
Just obviously he was like the Shawn Michaels of like DX. He was like the shining star
The
of Undisputed.
centerpiece.
I like the Undisputed Era together, Bobby Fish, all those guys. But Adam Cole was like, this guy's got it. But then when Roderick Strong was there by himself, I mean, you just could really see the bitterness and like, I don't really want to be here. And I'm like, yeah, we can tell because you're annoying as hell. Just go ahead, hurry up, have your contract in, go join your buddies, and just be done with it. But so I've never really been a
And the
huge fan.
Undisputed Kingdom sucks.
Yeah.
The Undisputed Kingdom has absolutely no point without MJF.
Yeah.
Like that whole thing was brought around and created because of MJF, and with MJF getting hurt, it's just like, what purpose do they really serve besides him being annoying? I mean, granted, they're all champions, but
yeah, but
they're the ROH Tag Team Champion, International Champion.
You got to have more substance than that. I mean, it's cool you have all the belts, but like back when Bloodline had all the belts, like, all right, the Bloodline's got all the gold. It's like, yeah, but I mean, there was like, it was interesting. It's like, okay, you guys have them now, but this for you, Kevin Owens is coming to you. I mean, you gotta have substance behind it. Now, granted, they didn't have anyone that was injured. So but you said MGF is the spoon that stirs the drink.
Yeah, I miss him. I miss him being on the show. It's definitely needed. What was I gonna say? But Roderick Strong is definitely there's no way he's retaining the title against Will Ospreay.
Good.
At Double or Nothing. They're gonna have Will Ospreay win that match for sure.
I like Ospreay.
For sure. I do too, a lot. I really like Will Ospreay. He's fucking amazing in the ring. Are just second to none.
Great talent. I'm not sure what happened to where WWE fumbled that one. I think probably money was some of it, and a couple of people had some comments. But he's a hell of a talent. Hell of a talent. I like him.
Well, you heard his clap back, didn't you? About how he only got where he was because he was grinding up on the boss's daughter.
Oh, I heard about that one for sure.
Which, I mean, honestly, if he hadn't married Stephanie, would he really be in the position that he's in?
Yeah, probably not.
It's not like he's one of the greatest. I mean, he had Shawn Michaels and DX to make him who he was.
Well, he did. Remember that whole Click incident? Like Triple H was like punished for that significantly, so he had to literally like crawl his way back up. But Shawn Michaels and DX was huge on putting him on the map. But when Shawn Michaels got hurt and left, and he had to kind of take over and reinvent himself, being the Game with China by his side, like that was. I got to give him credit for that Cerebral Assassin stuff. That was a good era of Triple H with the sledgehammer. I mean, he was.
I'm not saying he's not good.
You think he's one of the best?
He's just no. I don't. He's not in my top 10.
Ooh. I can't put Tripp's top 5. I might have to put him. He might have to make the top 10. It's hard for me to name 10 wrestlers that are. I don't know. That's tough.
There's been so many.
There have been so many, and now so many other. Because now Cena. You got to put Cena in there. I mean, there's a lot. I mean, does Bray Wyatt get a nod? Bryan Danielson, all the stuff he's done. I mean,
Bray Wyatt gets put in that category 100% because of his brilliance. His mind puts him in that category because he was so talented and he was so smart, and he knew what to do to get himself over, and he knew what people would respond to, because every single character he had, that fucking crowd responded to him. That crowd followed him, and that crowd wanted to be a part of what he was doing. So Bray Wyatt definitely deserves to be on that list just because of his sheer brilliance alone. And it doesn't really have anything to do with the fact that he passed away. It's because he still would have been one of the best of all times because of his brilliance, regardless.
100% agree. I don't need to add anything to that. I mean, you said it perfectly. But I mean, oh man, when you talk top 10, I mean, it's always a good conversation. It's always good, barbershop talk, because it's like, okay, well, what are your qualifiers? How far back do you go? Do you give credit for certain eras?
Right.
Stuff like so. I mean, the list. I mean, you can always interchange stuff. And like I said, you bring up a good point with Bray Wyatt. Your average person may be like, well, he didn't wrestle long enough. I'm like, dude, he didn't have to. If you paid attention to him and watched any of his work, the impact that he had in such a short time, that alone is worth him being mentioning. Like I said, it doesn't take a whole day to recognize Sunshine. So does he have to be a wrestler for 40 years to have made an impact to be one of the greats? Absolutely not. That's ignorant. Get out of here with that. Pay attention to the impact he had in the time he was there. That's what makes you a great. I mean, there were a lot of greats in different other venues that didn't. Jimi Hendrix, technically, he's a one-hit wonder. Did that make him less of a great? Absolutely not. So there's a lot of Bob Marley. He made a lot of music.
Still one of the best.
Yeah. Tupac wasn't around forever. He died at like 24, 25. But that doesn't mean they still can't be one of the greats. Pay attention to their body of work and the impact that they made while they were doing what they were doing. That's what makes you great. Like the example I use is like LeBron. All these people with LeBron, well, like, he's got to be the greatest. Well, dude, he's played for 22 years. Yeah, if I play basketball long enough, I'm probably gonna have a whole bunch of records because I'm just dragging it along. But what's the impact?
And how many fucking teams, and how many fucking teams has he played for? He chased titles. He didn't earn titles on one team by being loyal to one team. He fucking chased titles by going to whatever his needs at the time.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, does that make him less
Michael
great?
Jordan is the greatest of all time, period.
Hands down. But you gotta factor in a lot of stuff. It can't just be like, well, he did it for such and such years or whatever. I'm like, no. I mean, Undertaker is one of the greatest, not just because he did it for so long, but the impact. And he was able to evolve. We got the American Badass. I mean, you had him wearing a mask. You had him with Paul Bearer. You had the Brothers of Destruction. Like, you saw Undertaker reinvent himself countless times. That's what made him great. He had an impact in several different eras. And so those are the ones that are great. Triple H is top 5, top 10, but how he's been able to evolve. I mean, he came out like being this like pompous guy with his hair in a ponytail and curtsying. Then he turned into stops with DX. Then he became the Game, carrying a sledgehammer. And then he was part of Evolution. Then he was part of the comical DX, which I really didn't like because I missed him being edgy. But I'm like, whatever, he got a good laugh.
Michaels, they're hilarious.
Yeah. And then he became authority with, his wife. So he was able to reinvent himself several different times and evolve. So I give him credit for that. Like, can you be relevant over decades? He was. And didn't have the same shtick like Hulk Hogan did forever until he finally turned heel. And that was probably the best Hulk Hogan of all time. NWO Hogan, that was when I loved Hogan the most. So I was like the black beard and the spray paint and tiles. Was like, yo, I never thought Hulk would do this. Like that was cool back then. He's an asshole and a piece of trash human being, but as far as impact, you got to take.
Absolutely.
Now I would put Hulk in my top 5, and I wouldn't put him in my top 10 because of the politics and some other antics he's done. But I can't argue the fact of the impact that he's had in professional wrestling. So I mean, I got to give him credit.
Oh
But
yeah.
you got to look at all things: mic skills, in-ring ability, longevity, being able to recreate yourselves, like and evolve. Like that's how you get in my top 10. Guys like The Rock, like this final boss Rock. I was like, yo, I don't ever thought I'd see heel Rock ever again, wearing the silk shirts and calling himself the final boss and whipping Cody Rhodes with belts and stuff. I
Dropping
was
F
like,
bombs.
oh yeah, yeah. I'm like, whoa, where's this Rock been? This is amazing. Drew McIntyre, you got to give him credit. He was a chosen one when he first started. And then he was doing that 3MB stuff with Heath Slater and those guys. I'm like, what the hell is he doing? Left, came back,
Mm-hmm.
path, and I'm like, now he's a heel. I'm like, okay, Drew McIntyre, I get you. Seth Rollins is another one. The architect, part of the Shield, stabbed him in the visionary. That Seth Rollins was annoying. I didn't really like that Seth Rollins during the COVID era. And then he's coming out wearing Becky Lynch's clothes and singing his song. I'm like, okay,
Right.
well, I get it, whatever. But I like it. But again, like I'm reinventing myself. I'm coming up with something different. So I applaud those guys and be able to get over and make an impact. Those are the ones that are great.
Yeah, definitely. I have to give you that for Triple H. He's definitely been able to evolve over the years and become the different characters. Um, so maybe he would make the top 10.
Top 10. We're not
Because
saying top 3.
DX was pretty.
Oh, DX was. I miss the old
It was
DX.
pretty important to wrestling.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. That you want to talk about? We talk about
Was,
impact. That DX era was like influential. I mean, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Rick Rude was in the back, early DX, China, and then they evolved. Then
mm-hmm.
here Jesse James, the badass Billy Gunn, the New Age Outlaws, X Pac came in there after a while. I'm like, I like that DX. They were entertaining. I mean, they were just running amok, driving them nuts. So it was definitely entertaining. That was our childhood, man. I mean, I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, yo, suck it. I
It
might
was.
score basketball, suck it. I like
Yep.
say what's up my homeboys in the hallways at our locker. Too sweet it up. I mean, that was what we did back then. That's what we grew up on. So I got a lot of respect for that era.
Exactly. Yeah, the Attitude Era was where it was at.
It's starting to get back
And
to
that's
that.
why I think it's easier for us to be able to watch the two companies and not be tribalistic about it because of the fact that we've been through it before already.
Mm.
But there's people are so fucking weird and so fucking tribalistic on Twitter about fucking professional wrestling. It's a goddamn TV show. It's a scripted television show, y'all. Like, why are we being fucking weirdos? Like, this is strange. Stop being fucking weird. Go touch grass. Go get laid. Go do something with your life. But stop being a fucking weirdo.
Amen. I don't remember it being like this back in the Attitude Era. Like, you had your groups that like certain wrestlers and factions and even certain shows. I had my Monday Nitro crew and they had my WWE Raw crew. So we were always mingling with each other. Like, oh hey, like I come into class, like, oh yeah, we'll do a Suck It this week, and then the next week is like, yeah, I'm not about that, man. NWO for life. I'm like, man, we were just doing Suck It chops last week. Yeah, man, but I watched Raw this week.
You're right.
Like, okay. But we all were like mingling with each other. It wasn't like, why are you watching WWF? Why are you watching Nitro? I don't like this. Oh, he sucks. Well, I don't like Rock. Why? I mean, we didn't have any of that. It was just like they were fans. It was just gravitating to who was more entertaining. Like, oh man, did you see Nitro last week? Well, yo, did you see Raw? I mean, dude, like Stone Cold came out with this beer truck and just hosed the Rock and all these guys down. Well, yeah, would you catch Nitro? Like,
so came out with a milk truck.
Joined the NWO out of the blue. I mean, like everyone was like, man, did you see what these guys did? Did you see what these guys did? Now it's like, why are you watching AEW? well, Tony Khan's this, or why are you watching WWE or X, Y, and Z, or why you guys, just
Mhm.
sit back, enjoy. Both promotions have phenomenal talent, great storylines. Just enjoy the product, enjoy the entertainment. Like having this like
Right.
politics and undercutting, like it's not necessary. It's all scripted, no matter if you're an AEW fan or you're a WWE fan. It's all the same ingredients. It's just that there's a chef cooking it this way over here and a chef cooking it differently over there.
And they're all fucking friends.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the
They
thing, is they're all fucking friends with each other.
exactly.
Like they don't fucking have this AEW versus WWE mindset. I mean, maybe some of them do, but for the majority of it, they're fucking friends.
Exactly. We've all seen footage of Bailey showing up at an AEW event up in the stands watching stuff, or vice versa.
Bailey and Naomi and Tamina.
Yeah, like guys, like we're all like they're all wrestlers. They all hell work together at some point. Hey, just because you went over there doesn't mean I don't still want to talk to you and see you be successful. It's in real life that happens all the time. Well, we went to high school together, but like so and so went to CU, I went to CSU. Am I gonna start having this politics next X, Y, and Z? Like, no, we were friends. We went to high school together. You just decided to go to that college. I went to this college. Like, it's the same thing. Like, we're still friends and cool.
Mhm.
Like, we're all still going to school. It's all still college. It's just one bastard is a Ram, the other bastard is a Buff. Like, it's the same. It's all the same, man. So
Exactly.
social
Like,
media has a lot to that though, Jess, because this person says something. Well, I don't agree with that, or I'm a
mhm.
start. You just start piling in, and you get sucked into just this forced opinionated form of entertainment that's a subsidiary of what actually is going on. So you lose sight of reality because this person's posting this and saying this or whatever, and then you're like, well, man, the guys are able to take it and run with it, and they're not doing their homework. Kids don't do their homework anymore; they just take it for face value and run with it. And
Yep.
that's a lot. I mean, do your fucking homework. Like,
That's exactly
see,
it.
if you look up in the stands, see those WWE wrestlers that are supporting the AEW product, you know why? Because they're all fucking friends. They're not having that fucking politics stuff.
Mhm.
So why, like, just enjoy the product? It's okay if you like one more than the other. We have your
You
certain wrestlers. I get it. But
mhm.
the criticism, politics stuff, just there's no business for that. Just enjoy it. It's entertainment at the end of the day.
Well, you see it on social media and everything too, like on their Instagram pages and stuff. You see them all commenting on each other's stuff. They're fucking everybody's friends with each other. It's just a damn TV show. They're following the script that they're given.
That's all it is. And I get it.
That's all it
Sometimes,
is.
well, sometimes you get some of the youngsters. They're like, "Oh my god, I can't believe that Roman did that," or "I can't believe that Samoa Joe said that," and they get a little intense and get a little emotional. I get it, but you got to reel it back in, man.
Mhm.
Okay, I have my remote in my hand and I clicked the power button. Okay, that was a show. I was entertained for 3 hours. Well, I was entertained for 2 hours when watching SmackDown or whatever the case may be. Like, in the end of the day, I hit the power button and I go back and realize. And these guys are on social media. Hey, you see what Bailey posted? Hey, you see what Mercedes posted? Hey, you see what The Rock posted? It's like, man, this, but then you get like hoodwinked for 3 hours and just lose sight of everything. Just lose your mind. I'm like, just got to reel it back in.
Yep. Exactly. Exactly. Well, hell, on that note, I think that's a good place to end it tonight. On that note, that was some really good words of wisdom there, Prince. All
Well,
right,
Princess,
guys. Well, thank you very much for coming to episode 6. Thank you so much, Eric.
I appreciate always being on, Princess, giving me an opportunity to talk wrestling and fire trucks and sleep and whatever the case may be. I'm all up for it. It's always a pleasure. I can't wait for the next time.
Absolutely. Any new books? Anything you got to promote before we get out of here?
Um, Not as of yet. I'm always writing. I've got 5 books, 5 future books done, but it costs a little bit to get all those published. So stay tuned. I'm always writing and posting stuff though. So um, I'll continue to keep you posted on that. But I got some things in the works. But on my IG at EL the Prince. You definitely check me out there. I got a lot of stuff going on. I post some videos, some artwork, stuff like that. So definitely a lot of stuff
Hmm.
to keep you entertained for sure. I'm all about the
Yep.
entertainment.
Absolutely, absolutely. Perfect. So yeah, definitely go check him out. Go check out his work. He does have 2 published books. They're phenomenal. He's a great poet. So go check out his work. Thank you again. You can find me on X at Jess. I always have to think about it. Jess Skywalker 10 or Princess Skywalker. Go like, subscribe, share the show, everything. Do all the stuff. Do all the things. Next week I'll have sleep, so I won't be so bleh. So, all right,
Sleep or no
guys. Thank you so much.
sleep, sleep or no sleep, follow her. She's entertaining. You will not be disappointed. She's awesome.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, guys. Have a good night, and I will see you next Tuesday. Deuces.